Welcome back, everybody, to Catalano Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Catalano, and on this show, our mission is to provide you with high-protein cookies to support your aesthetic, athletic, and fitness goals. And for today, we have a good one. It is the cookbook review of the King Arthur Flour Cookie Companion. This particular book right here is where I get a lot of my original ideas from. They do a great job of kind of giving you the basic and more advanced style cookies, everything from decorations to ideas about cookies, where they come from, historical context. And this particularly was a really good cookbook to start off with in terms of baking, just in terms of the basics, but not too basic. And just to kind of go over a little bit in terms of what is actually in the cookbook. So this cookbook actually has 9 particular cookies that they go over as kind of the essential cookies, and I really like that is the starting point to the cookbook. They have drop cookies and all that later, but they really start off with the classics: chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies, oatmeal, molasses, peanut butter, shortbread, biscotti, brownies, and of course decorated cookies. And the reason why I like the way that they format it that way was we're really focusing on the core essential cookies, and these are the cookies that, especially for this channel, is where we're going to apply most of our focus towards. And these are the cookies that, of course, we remake into much more higher protein versus what's in this particular baking book. Now, the big reason why I love this cookbook particularly is that this cookbook gives you a tremendous amount in terms of the basics, more advanced, exotic, traditional, like all kinds of different cookies. This is the go-to baking book for all questions you have in terms of cooking. So my top 3 particular recipes in here, I would have to admit, I really like the brownies. I really like sugar cookies, a lot of these, but I think the classics have to be the chocolate chip cookie, the peanut butter cookie, and there's some almond dreams that they have. For me particularly, I love almonds, so that's kind of my signature. And those particular 3 were ones that really kind of caught my eye. The reason why was because they actually broke down chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cookies into soft and chewy, or more hard and crispy. And so for a lot of people, you're going to get different recipes within the cookbook in terms of if you like it crunchier or if you like it softer, which I thought was a really nice touch. They go over a lot of different things in terms of add-ons and substitutions, flavorings, all those kind of questions you may have. This book provides. And for me, I think a big thing that I learned throughout this baking book was just to keep thinking creatively about cookies. And there are so many different style of cookies in this baking book that you're going to want to make them all. You can't, but it kind of gets the ideas rolling. And for me, a big one was the ability to add on to a basic like chocolate chip cookie, or to add in flavorings, or to make those substitutions. And they give a lot of great advice in terms of that. They have a huge staff at the actual company that test out these recipes. This is the best of the best. And this is a great baking book if you're somebody that wants to make very traditional cookies. Even if they're not high necessarily protein, you just want the traditional cookies. This is a great baking book. I highly recommend it. But with one caveat, of course, on this channel, we want higher protein. So I do make a lot of substitutions for instance, the flour. We do put in almond flour. We do use Greek yogurt. We do put in protein powder, different forms of protein powder, of course. But that's kind of more on our side, how we experiment. But this is the book that we use to base a lot of our recipes out of. And another good thing that I think they do is their recipes do call for a lot of cookies. So for instance, the chocolate chip cookie one is about 4 dozen. Okay, it's about 4 dozen cookies. Typically, we're going to make about 2 of those normal size cookies into 1. So you're gonna get a lot of cookies for this recipe. But I think that's beneficial just because, especially if we don't have time, we're busy. You know, you make a lot of the cookies, decent amount of protein in them, and it's kind of like, okay, that's a week's worth of desserts right there. And I personally scour through this book all the time. I learned so much through it. You know, there's a lot on the decorations I don't particularly go through, but, you know, you might find some value out of it. So if you really love cookies the way that I do, if you really want to replace a lot of those higher calorie, non-nutritious desserts with a dessert that is stable, that is portable, you can take it anywhere, no silverware needed, and that you can adjust to your nutritional needs, you can adjust it to your protein needs. This is the one I recommend. It is the King Arthur Flour Cookie Companion. I got this bad boy on Amazon pretty much for like 10 bucks. Very cheap, but full of information, full of knowledge, pretty much just on cookies, brownies, bars, all of that. And so with that, JC Catalano signing off.